Right, we're at a different angle now. We've basically got the neck on the jig. It's not strapped in because I don't need it strapped in just yet, but what I've done is I'll put the camera at this angle just to show you what I've done here. And what I've done is I've gone across the whole of a fretboard with just warm soapy water. Now normally, if I want to get it wet or I want to get it clean first, I go across with lemon oil and let that lift all the dirt out and get it off. But I didn't want to go with oil, lemon oil, because if that's the case, the lemon oil is going to stick, or the mineral oil is going to go into the fret grooves and it's going to leave residue there. And when I come to glue my new frets in, they're not going to take because there's going to be oil there. So I've got it clean with soapy water, got all the grime off, get it a good wash, and then what I've done is, this is the area of the neck where I've got all the grooves. And what I've done is I've used a trick I used before on my Edwards Explorer when I dinged it a few times, because it had a satin finish. It dinged all the way down, and I put a wet bandage on it. And when I went back 4 or 5 hours later and took the wet bandage off, I was expecting to have the grooves still in there, but not so pronounced. And I was going to then steam them and bring the wood back, but the bandage was enough, just the wet bandage. So I've done the same principle with this. I've put on a wet bandage, which in this case is it's a piece of rag, folded, saturated, wet through, then just taped over the length of the neck. And if I'm lucky, maybe these grooves have swelled up and the wood's gone back to normal. If I'm not so lucky, they haven't done that and there's still grooves in there, we're going to have to fill them and fill them with some wood dust, and we're going to have to put some glue in there, and we're going to have to re-radius the neck. And if that is the case, or the scenario, I really don't mind, because it's not a difficult job for me. So what I'm going to do is now, you here with me are going to see what effect having the wet bandage on the fretboard has had. And so we're going to take it off. And it should come off pretty easy. And like I say, it's not strapped in. And we're just going to take this bandage off. We're going to see where we are. And that's that off. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah, blah. I'm going to do the same this end. And we're going to see what's happened to the fretboard and see where we are with it. So, here we go. Okay, that has come out really pretty well. Got a piece of dry cloth here. Now normally I'd get an hairdryer on this and let this dry out a little. All the residue glue's come off there now. Now you see, with the wood coming in there, I could go across with red hot iron, because these grooves are nowhere near as pronounced as they were. And I might just be able to get away with some super glue on this. That really is not that bad. Let's, I don't know what you're going to see there, if I zoom in. So there you go, yeah, you can still see the grooves. Right, this area of the guitar, where you can see the grooves are, still a couple here. Where my finger is here, there's a couple here, but that really is not that bad, you know. I'm going to get another light on there and see where we are. Get an LED on there. And that really, you know, is not that bad at all. Now I'm wondering if I could actually just leave that. Maybe run a little bit of super glue in there and then grooves. That one's a bit deep here, but it's nothing major. I'm wondering if I could run some super glue in there and here, rather than bang any dust in there, because the rest of the area is pretty fine. I might see if I can run an extension out and just try and steam that up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to think on that for a little while. I'm now undecided as to what to do here. Now I can still see the grooves when I'm right down here. This one, it's not terrible, but I'm wondering if I could just run. I'm going to get a radius block on there. I'm going to get, in fact, I'll get a radius gauge now, and I'm going to check the radius down the length, because by rights that should be a 12-inch radius. And the good thing about having a 12-inch radius, we all know, even though America uses a metric system and everywhere else uses, America uses imperial system, everywhere else uses metric, we all know a 12-inch radius. So let's have a look. Yep, that's pretty consistent. Yep. Yep, and we are running a 12-inch radius all the way. I'm inclined to with 12-inch all the way down, I've been more inclined to, rather than make some dust paste, rather than slice into this with a blade, I've been more inclined to just fill with super glue. We might get away with it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get this clamped up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this clamped up. I'm going to get the steel inserts, when I find them, under the neck, and we're going to get it all strapped in, and we're going to get this dead straight, get it all clamped in. Once it's all clamped in, I can take a sanding block, a radius block with some sandpaper on there, and we're going to run across this, and we're going to re-radius this top board, and we're not going to remove any more than 0.5 millimetre off the whole top of this. And I think once we've done that, we're going to get away with it. It's going to be absolutely enough. So let me get this all strapped in. I'll get these, we'll have these in. I'm not going to use my 0 dials. In fact, I might do, just for reference. I'm going to get it all strapped in. I'll get the 0 dials all on there, blah 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 blah. We'll get it all zeroed out, get it all level, and I'll come back and we'll take it from there and see where we are. So give me a few minutes, come back in a bit. Well, what can I tell you? That was unbelievably easy. The plan was to get a bit done, then come back and show you how I do it, but it's done. And what I did was basically I took some regular super glue, just blobbed it over the holes that needed filling, and I took some rosewood dust that I've got knocking about. I've got a bag full of it somewhere, there you go, and just sprinkled some over the top, and then I went over and sprayed over some accelerator, and it left me with a high lump of glue and wood that had built up. I went over it with some 80 grit and the radius block, and it's done. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just check. Now there's a bit of discoloration in there, which I'm absolutely not bothered about. There's a bit of grooving in there. That's all fixed. That's all fixed. These are all done bar this one. So I'm going to show you how I did it. So simple. What I'm going to do is, where this hole still, I'm just going to put some super glue. And that's really it. I'm going to blow on it. That's as difficult as it is. I'm going to take some rosewood. This is not actually rosewood, it's off a Rickenbacker, so it's not. I know it's not rosewood. I'm just going to sprinkle some over. You see already, filling in and drying. The hardest thing about this is it drying, and all I'm going to do is just accelerator on there. That's already rock hard now. I'll put more on there than I normally would do. I'm just going to go across with the sandpaper. Get it close. It's close here now. It's quite close. That's filled in now already. I'm going to take a Stanley blade, X-Acto blade, and I'm just going to come across so we get a level. Once that's sanded, it'll be perfect, and that's filled in there. from 80 grit, job done. Go across with a 12 block. As you can see, there's no resistance, so we've got that level. Okay, it doesn't look brilliant, but once this is all stained, we've got a steel bar, perfectly flat, with some 400 grit on that side, and we're just going to go across the work we've done until we're smooth. And what I'm going to do is, when I've cleaned this up, I'm just going to go, right, now that was 200 grit by the way, not 400, this is 400. Go across with 400, just up and down, just a couple of times. Okay, and there you go, that's it. That fingerboard is absolutely smooth. There's a couple of blebs here, but it is smooth as. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to wet it to show how it's going to be when it's finished, and if I'm not happy with the finish, there you go. How's that going to look? What do we think to that there? Let's just whiz in. There you go, that's what it's going to look like. Get it dry. Not super dry, but that, my friends, is smooth as. I can't believe how easy that's gone. Absolutely superb. I do have an X-Acto knife talking about, so here we go. Let's just check these. Now some of these are going to be full of a bit of glue. It would have fell in. There you go. We're going to open up all these slots, and I'm going to get on with a refret this afternoon. I really did not think I'd be doing a refret this afternoon. That's absolutely fantastic. As you can see, as it's drying, getting a bit of the colouring coming through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stain this fingerboard. I've got some. I've already got ebony stain. I'm going to take some ebony stain. I'm just going to slightly darken this fingerboard when it's dry. What we're doing at the moment is we're getting ready for the new frets. So rather than do what I said, where I was gonna, the idea was to score this way. Get some dust underneath, put some glue on top and let the scored wood settle back in, but I don't need to. That is now super flat. That's amazing. I'm really, really pleased with that. Just going to feel, make sure there's none anywhere else. As you can see, the fingerboard's now drying. You're going to see how much we've dried the wood now. I'll do these grooves both ways. I'll let this dry out, see where we are, and probably going to come back and I'll probably just stain the board. I'll not be oiling the board at all. I'll only be putting some lemon oil, or basically mineral oil, on the board once the frets are in. I will be gluing the frets in this time because this refret I'm using Hosco jumbo frets. Now the Hosco, good thing about the Hosco, it's not 12% nickel silver, it's 18% nickel silver, so it sits somewhere between. It's about the same strength as Jescar Gold Evo. 18% sits somewhere between 12% nickel and stainless. Much easier to work with than stainless, but it's going to be longer lasting than the 12% stuff. So that's what I'm going to do. Whiz back out. I'm going to carry on clearing these fret slots. I'm going to let the wood dry out. I'm going to come across with some stain, and I'm going to prep the frets ready for a refret. As this is what I'm doing now. I told you I'd let you see where we're going to be. And there you go. That is the whole board prep. Now you see where it's dark, you see, because of the glue. Now when I've got the neck oiled, you're probably not going to see that, but what I am going to do is I'm going to run some ebony stain on here, a couple of coats, and let it dry. Probably let it dry overnight, and I think we can get on with the refret anytime. This has gone a lot better and a lot easier than I thought it would do. That's fantastic news. Good thing about refretting, I love refretting anyway. So there you go, all the slots are clear. That's ready for a stain in the refret. That is, okay, cosmetically it doesn't look fantastic. Well, I will hide, like I say, I will hide it with some stain. If this wasn't my guitar, I'd be probably looking at a different method than this, because I know for a fact CA glue, super glue does darken whatever wood you put in there. Now that is super smooth. That's amazing. I'm going to go across again with the 12-inch radius block to make sure we've got the radius all the way along. I mean, it looks from here, from what I can see, it looks fantastic. All I need to do is stick a level on there. And basically I'm going to take a level right up to the edge. That's flat. Right up the middle, that's flat, and right up this edge. And we're flat anyway, so I know that radius is bang on. Once that's stained, that's ready for a refret. I'm really pleased with that. For now, that is it. I'll come back when I'm ready to do the staining, and we'll take it from there. See you shortly. Right, hello, another discreet and strange angle, but the reason I've done this is I don't think you could see these marks or where I've filled these holes in from the other side properly because of the light. So what I've done is I've turned the camera around, and I'm going to get out of the way here, but I'm going to show you these. This is where I've filled in. Look, now it's super smooth. It's really tight. I'm really pleased with how it's come out. So now we've got a super smooth fretboard, but with these a little bit darker. I don't know if I need, let's try and zoom in and see if you can see a bit. Can you see here, look, where I've filled in? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stain the fingerboard, but what I'm going to do first is I've got to make myself a fresh sanding block, 12-inch radius, for a fresh piece of paper, sandpaper on there, 400 grit, and I'm just going to go across here with a few passes, just so we know we've got, I should have clamped that down really. Let me go and get a clamp and I'll clamp that down. I'm just going to go with a few passes just to make sure that we've got that radius all the way along. I normally do clamp this, I just haven't today for whatever reason. Go in there. Just going to stop it moving. That's all. I normally clamp both, especially if I'm doing network. I normally clamp both ends, so it's not going to go anywhere. That's not going to go anywhere now. And all I'm going to do is make sure I'm zoomed right out. Yeah, it looks like I am. And this is just to make sure we've got a uniform radius. And it looks like it's going pretty uniform over there, so we're just going to... I can see it's taking rosewood off at the top end, so just keep it uniform. And what I'm going to do is, when I'm happy with the radius, I'm going to brush all this off. Once I'm happy that we're level everywhere, I'm going to go with some white spirit. I'm going to clean my fretboard. Perfectly level on that edge. Perfectly level on that edge. Straight down the middle. And we're perfectly level down the middle. So I'm going to look, I'm going to eye up both ends, see if I'm happy with that radius. Right, we've got no twists in there. If we had the tiniest twist, it wouldn't matter anyway. We'd level it, we'd do a fret level when we put frets in. Right, I'm really happy with that. That to me is good. I'm just going to go and drag. Again, we're going to come through, we're going to clear the fret slots. So easy. I'm going to do this, I'm going to wipe this down. Just water. That in itself is going to dry the wood out. I'm not too bothered about that, because it's going to be oiled later anyway. But I want to keep it dry for now. and I'm going to go and prep some wood stain. I use a Justin's stuff. Is it Justin's? Rustin's, not Justin's. Justin? Who's Justin? I've got Jesus on my mind. Justin Rustin. Anyway, so I'm going to get my Rustin's ebony flim flam. Here with wood dye it is. It's not stain, it's called wood dye. There you go. That's the gubbins. I'm going to get some of that all sorted out. I'm going to go across, I'm going to stain, I'm going to get a bit of a wipe of it. I'm not going to go white spray, I'm going to go plain water. I've got a sponge here. Tiniest bit of this is not wet, it's damp. It's just damp, that's all. So I think when it's stained and oiled, you're not going to see where I filled it, are you? I'm really pleased with that. That's beautiful. Oh, I'm excited. I really am excited. Little bit of glue residue on there. We'll get away with that little bit of residue. So that basically, this is how it's going to look when it's oiled and done. I'm really pleased with that. Do I need to go with a bit of Rustin's on there? I think so. I like a bit of darkness added in. They get a little bit more darkness in there, and the red will show through. The red will still show through. That looks really nice. I can just see, got a little bit of indentation in there. That is nothing to worry about. You know what? I'm not even going to bother about that. I could put a dab of super glue in there. What's the point? So this is what it's going to look like once it's oiled. You know what? Should I leave that? Let me look at it from this side. Stick lights on. That looks absolutely fine to me. I might just leave that, you know. Let me have a ponder on that. Let me think on. Think on, Paddy. Think on. So that's it. As far as this video goes, this is going to be the end of part 2. I'm going to get this stained up. I'm going to ponder that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get this prepped now, ready for a refret. So I'm going to get this, make sure it's all sanded down, get it dried. Might get a bit of stain. Next video, we're going to move on to the refret. We're going to get refretted. I'll be back soon.